because I went, this is the only time, fuck it. And I ran out, and I ran down the street after her, and I stumbled a little bit, and I touched her a little bit too hard on the shoulder, and pulled her in a bad way. This is not a good way to approach a girl. And she turned, reeled in horror, and I said, "Hi, look, I saw you in there, and when I was in the Centrelink, I know it's not great, but..." And she's just there reeling more. She reels further and further. And then I just stop. And I literally just stop mid-sentence. She's like, "What the fuck?" in Russian. I don't know what that is in Russian. And I just stop and freeze. And I take a deep breath in. Thanks to my Shaolin training, I bring myself out of my fucking retarded, useless head, into my body, down to my feet. I close my eyes. This is all in front of this girl who's standing there. Okay, breathe in, sweep up, breathe out, relax. "Do you mind if I walk with you to the end of the street?" And she says, "I'm busy. I have university." I said, "Okay, but can I walk with you to the end of the street? Let's go." And I turned and I started to walk, and she sort of tentatively walked next to me, obviously not really very pleased to be in this situation, but here she is. And I have literally 150 metres, and I know that she's not going to give me any more. Yeah? And so my first impulse is to talk fast. And again, I take control of that situation as best I can, and I just try to speak slowly to this woman that is knee-shudderingly, amazingly beautiful. And I said, "So why are you in Australia?" And she says, "It's a long story." I'm like, "Well, I'm interested to hear that story." She says, "I'm with husband but separated." And I just ask a couple more questions, and then we get to the end of this street. And she says, "I'm leaving." And I said, "Irina, I said to you I'd like to hear that story, and I'm serious. When can I hear it?" And she looks at me, and she just stares me up and down in the way that I've only seen one other person do, which was a man called Shi Chao, who is a Shaolin monk, who looked at me like that when I asked if I could train at the temple. Just that withering look of staring directly through you, down to your marrow and going, "What are you made of? Are you serious? Do you really want this?" And that's the way she looked at me, which is the way most Russian girls look at every man. And she said, "We can talk Sunday." And then wrote her number on a piece of paper and dismissively walked off. Yeah? There's only a few moments in my life where I've felt amazing elation, and that was one of them. I literally went like this. Yeah. That's the second time I've done that, just then. Yeah. What a phenomenal breakthrough. And I thought, well, fuck, it's going to flake, and it did. It flaked. She didn't answer. Tried all sorts of text things, and it's hilarious. Sometimes you'll have whatever crew I'm traveling with Sasha or Liam or John Keegan, whatever, and you've got the think tank of the greatest seductive minds alive on the planet today. And someone gets a text message from a 19-year-old girl, and the guy's looking. He's like, "What do you reckon about this?" And we all sit down there, and then everyone starts crowding around, like, "No, don't put a full stop. No, hang on." No, I reckon if you leave the capital off, it makes it feel like it was just so casually tossed away, as if you're just texting while snowboarding, which is a cool thing. Yeah, yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, I know, but there's a problem. She doesn't speak that well English, so she's going to understand what are you up to. She's going to think and so on, right?" And then eventually all of us go, "All right, cool, send." Yeah. 20 seconds later, ping, back from this 19-year-old girl with the perfect response. I'm like, what? That team of girls over there is working way faster than us. Yeah. Sit down, boys. The average 19-year-old will run rings around all of us. It's fucked up. Yeah. Anyway, this girl flaked. No matter how many great minds I put to the text, she didn't reply. 6 months later, I was sitting with the guy that I started this business with, who was a bit of a ghost now. He was a legendary man who was riding a motorcycle through Africa. We don't speak his name. Did he exist? I don't know. And I said to him, "Hey, do you keep numbers that flake?" And he said, "No way. Fuck that." Because he didn't typically get numbers. He didn't typically get names either. Yeah. Jamie's laughing. We remember the days. I said, "Well, I do." And he's like, "Why?" I said, "Well, I don't know. Maybe you can bring a dead number to life." He said, have you ever done that? I said, no. Well, I'm going to try now. And I went scrolling through and I went, of course, The White Whale, The Lost Girl. And I remembered in our conversation, she told me that she did modelling and that she played the accordion. You don't meet girls like that in Australia. And the previous night I'd been out at some like crazy gypsy gig where someone was playing an accordion because I like that kind of weird music. And so I just thought if I could send her a message and I said, saw a crazy accordion playing someone in a band last night, reminded me of you. ... And don't write that down. It was just not the greatest text, but whatever. I sent it off and she wrote back, you send me messages sometimes, why? I was like, yes, she's back, she's alive. And I wrote, again, remember, I want to still hear your story. And then she said, we can meet Thursday. I'm like, sure. I rocked up to Fed Square and this girl did actually appear.